Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new to playing guitar and it just feels awkward and you're just not sure how to make it less awkward, hopefully this video will help you out. This is all about being able to kind of manage your guitar so that you can actually focus on playing on it. Also, I should note that this video was shot over a couple of different days because of some technical issues, but hopefully we'll all just see past that. It can be really helpful to just practice sitting with your guitar. And that might sound a little crazy, but you might have to do a lot of different things like take notes or rearrange a music book. Generally, it's your right arm for right-handed players that keeps your instrument in place, along with the back of the instrument usually against you, and then of course the bottom of the instrument on the cutaway on your leg. There are some people that prefer to sit with the instrument on their other leg, and that's totally fine as well. Your left hand shouldn't have to actually hold the instrument up while you're playing, and once you get used to that sort of thing, it should be a lot easier to get where you need to go when you're not trying to actively hold the instrument the whole time. If you're playing an acoustic guitar, it can be really helpful to sit in a way that allows the back of the guitar to resonate as freely as the top of the guitar. The way that you do that is just by making sure that the back of the guitar isn't resting flat up against you. You want to try to have it at a bit of an angle so that just the top of the back rim here rests up against you, and then of course the bottom on your leg. So that way the back can resonate freely just like the top of the guitar can. Another important thing to pay attention to if you're sitting down with your guitar is the leg that the guitar is resting on. If you're sitting with your leg angled down toward the ground, your guitar is most likely going to want to slide away from you. And a lot of people, when they're starting off, will start with the guitar sitting up and slowly have it roll down. So what you want to try to do is have that either level with the ground or slightly raised, and slightly raised will kind of help keep the guitar snug back up against you so that it's not sliding around all the time. The angle of your leg will largely depend on how long your legs are and how tall the chair is that you're sitting in, so you might want to look at getting some sort of footrest or footstool to raise your leg up so that your guitar is not going to slide off your leg. Most guitarists, when they sit down with their guitar, don't usually end up having their guitar perfectly parallel with their chest. To have a guitar, I say I don't even have room for it, to have a guitar perfectly parallel with your chest tends to do two really big things. It makes us usually, for most people, put our elbow really far back, which usually also makes us dip our shoulders forward and down sometimes to compensate for that. So people will end up doing this sort of thing to get their hands in playing position. It also puts their hands in a really awkward playing position. But that's something that I see a lot of people initially struggle with. The other problem it creates is that as you're trying to go further up the fingerboard to access higher notes, people tend to feel like they're getting kind of crowded and they have no room to move where they need to go, and sometimes they'll end up kind of crouching into their guitar like this, trying to reach those notes by getting closer to them. So what we want to do is let the headstock of the guitar angle away from us somewhat, so that when we're putting our arm down by our side in a comfortable spot and bending at our elbow, we're just letting our hand go out where it wants to, and then moving the guitar to our hand, instead of putting the guitar in a place where we think it should be and then moving ourselves to it. So, hand where it wants to be, put the guitar there, that's where it should be. Same thing goes as we're playing notes further up the fingerboard. As we move up the fingerboard, the guitar will pivot very slightly. We're probably only talking about a couple of degrees of movement here, but that will allow us to get to those extra high notes without feeling like we have to do one of those to get closer to them. So it's all about letting the guitar move to where you're comfortable instead of trying to move yourself around the guitar. If you have access to a chair without arms, that can be really helpful because the arms on the chair will tend to interfere with either the headstock or neck or the body of the guitar. One way or the other, something's going to bump into those arms. And you also want to try to look out for playing on really large surfaces, things like couches and beds, and I know for most people that's going to be the most accessible pieces of furniture typically, but what tends to happen for a lot of people is the lower bout of the body of their guitar will end up hitting the bed and making it tilt like that. So instead of being at a comfortable position for playing, they'll end up with their guitar kind of tilting down like this, and then people will tend to follow to try to reach the playing position. Same thing will happen for a lot of people when they're sitting on a couch, and it absolutely depends on the body shape of the guitar and how big it is, and your legs and the couch, and probably like a billion other factors, but it's just something to look out for. If you're sitting down with your instrument and what you're sitting on is moving your guitar into an uncomfortable position, it's probably not the most ideal place to play. If you haven't bought a guitar yet, obviously you want to buy something that's going to be comfortable for you. One of the main issues that people run into is having a guitar that's too wide in this dimension here, and what that does is it makes you kind of raise your arm up so that you can reach over the guitar, and over time that can be really taxing on your shoulder. So try to look for something that fits your body size and something that you're comfortable sitting with. There's a bunch of different body sizes and shapes out there, and hopefully you'll find one that fits you. Thanks for watching. I hope this was a helpful video for you. If you'd like to see more from the channel, feel free to hit like and subscribe so you can find more of my videos. And if you want to help support the channel, if you find these really helpful and you want to help make it so that I can keep making these videos, feel free to check out amethystguitars.com. I have a small business where I build and sell guitars. And I also have a Patreon going. All the links and stuff will be down in the description if you're interested in checking any of that out.